This is Montana This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonnell. Thank you for starting your day right here with us. 500,000 pounds of asphalt. That's the rough estimate from an EPA official on the amount spilled into the Yellowstone River following the train derailment near Reed Point. Crews so far have removed 37,000 pounds, mostly within a few miles of where the bridge collapsed almost 2 weeks ago. At a public meeting last night in Columbus, officials told the crowd some asphalt may already be in the Mississippi River. And while 500,000 pounds might have ended up in the river, it's unlikely even half of that will be pulled out.
Oil spill response in particular, and this asphalt's considered an oil, recovery rates are usually pretty low. 30% is a good recovery. So the best thing you can normally do is stop the leak.
Meanwhile, prep work for the bridge repair is already underway. Montana Rail Link's president won't give an official timeline, but he says he anticipates it taking reconstruction to take weeks, but not months. Yellowstone National Park's oldest hotel is in need of repair this morning after taking on serious damage during a storm. Strong winds knocked down hundreds of trees near Lake Yellowstone this week, some crashing into the Lake Hotel.
We were on site here at Sandpiper maybe 15 minutes after it happened, and they're moving guests out of the building.
The Lake Hotel is 120 years old. Officials now predict the entire roof will likely need to be replaced. They say impacts to guests will be minimal, though, and the good news is some of the downed trees will help repair other historical park structures.
We have the historic preservation crew from Old Faithful here, and they're getting logs that they need to do necessary repairs on the Old Faithful Inn, and we've got some material now that we can use on the Lake Lodge and other buildings in the park.
Winds in the area were whipping up 60 miles an hour when the lodgepole pines went down Monday evening. One witness tells Q2 he felt like his car was going to blow off the road. That's quite a storm. You were talking about that severe weather that was headed our way earlier this week.
Absolutely, yeah. And now it looks like we get a bit of a break. Now, and there's still a chance as we get into tomorrow, we may still see the extreme southern part of Montana, northern parts of Wyoming. We could still see a marginal risk, but for the most part today, we're looking pretty darn good. Beautiful start out there right now. Another morning where we're a little bit below average with our temperature, sitting at 52. Some areas in the 40s right now. Winds out of the southwest at about 15 miles an hour. You can see that dew point's at 48, humidity at 86%, so not a bad start this morning at all. Temperatures across the area, 47 in Livingston and Columbus, 49 in Red Lodge. Up in Roundup, we're at 50, 57 in Forsyth and Broadus, 56 in Miles City, Hardin at 50, and we've got some more 40s there, 49 in Sheridan, and we just bumped up to 50 in Cody. You were about 49 just a few minutes ago. So a day where we're going to see a lot of sunshine. We'll see some clouds mixing in, daytime heating. We have this backdoor cold front that's going to be coming in. It's not really going to cool us down. What it's going to do is just kind of kick up some showers and thunderstorms. Most of us won't see any rain as we go through the weekend, although we could see the odd shower roll through in some spots. It could come and go, boom, just like that. But we'll talk about the possibility of maybe some severe weather down to our south with the main forecast coming up here in just a bit. But all in all, pretty nice weekend all the way.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much, Miller. And in Emigrant this morning, Montana farmers and ranchers are learning new methods to save money and make their operations more sustainable. The 41st annual Montana Range Tour was led by the Lenan family, owners of Barney Creek Livestock. The ranch won a conservation award last year for partnering with other landowners to move where they graze their cows from range to range across the Paradise Valley. Ranchers say the yearly rotating tour is a great place to learn and borrow great ideas.
It's not as hard as you think. You just, eat the elephant one bite at a time, and you'll get there, and you'll just have great results and just feel like you're in the ecosystem and a part of that.
These Montana Range Tours were originally for legislators, but now mostly attract other ranchers who want to see different methods at work. And in campaign news this morning, millions of dollars are already pouring into Montana ahead of that key 2024 Senate race for the seat currently held by Democrat Jon Tester. Tester's campaign reports raising more than $5 million in the last 3 months alone, slightly outdoing the $5 million he brought in during the first 3 months of the year. Campaign officials say this is the most cash on hand Tester has ever had in a non-election year. The race is expected to be one of the most closely watched in the United States. So far, Republican businessman Tim Sheehy, who officially filed paperwork July 1st, is Tester's most prominent Republican challenger. And Governor Greg Gianforte is working to get more Montanans interested in trade jobs, touting the state's registered apprenticeship programs. Here he is yesterday at an iron workers training center in East Helena. Facilities like this combine work with contractors on a job site with classroom instruction and hands-on practice. The governor says his administration is focused on getting more people into these high-demand industries through steps like allowing contractors to take on more apprentices per trained worker and expanding tax credits for employers to support employee training.
We've been working this workforce shortage in the construction trades from every angle.
I think it's starting to get a lot louder. We've got a lot more traction across the state with folks wanting to get the apprenticeships exposed into the schools, into the earlier schools. I've seen more in the past 3 years having 6th through 8th grade coming into events to where they're getting exposed to the industry.
According to Associated Builders and Contractors, the construction industry will need to attract an estimated 546,000 additional workers on top of the normal pace of hiring in 2023 to meet the demand for labor. Topping national headlines this morning, the company that owned the Titan submersible has officially suspended operations. OceanGate says all exploration and commercial operations are on hold after the implosion of the submersible headed toward the wreckage of the Titanic. All 5 people on board were killed, including the company's CEO. The Coast Guard is still investigating what caused this disaster. An early July heat wave across the U.S. is prompting millions of Americans to take precautions and find ways to cool off. According to analysis from the University of Maine, the past 3 days were likely the hottest ever on Earth. More than 67 million people in 31 states saw temperatures top 90 degrees yesterday. And the Labor Department says 4 million Americans quit their jobs in May. The rate of people quitting is now only slightly higher than its pre-pandemic level, a sign that the labor market might be cooling. This update comes amid a new survey where most Americans say they don't feel financially secure. Bankrate finds most need to make about $233,000 on average to feel financially secure and at least $483,000 to feel rich. The average full-time worker makes about $56,000 a year. Back here in Billings, a restaurant by a runway is relying on a robot recruit. In this morning's Positively Montana story, Q2's Diane Parker reports on Rosie, the rechargeable server, now receiving a robust reception from travelers.
Positively Montana is sponsored by Yellowstone Valley Electric Cooperative.
When you order food here at the Billings Airport, you're going to get it a lot faster, especially if you're sitting here at the busy bar. That's because Skydyne has hired a new employee. Her name is Rosie, and she's a robot, and she's already helping the staff here to deliver 5-star service to hungry travelers.
Okay, I am leaving to complete my task.
When the order's up at Stacked, Cinnabon, or Logan Air, Rosie rolls into action, taking food back and forth all day long.
She's really a good little worker.
In fact, the airport's newest hire makes some 30 trips from the kitchen to the great room bar daily, carrying 3 to 4 meals at a time, saving steps for Skydyne's 36 human employees.
We see people that come in and haven't seen her, and they're so shocked and surprised.
She can't sign autographs, but she is reliable.
She puts herself to bed at 8 o'clock at night, and she wakes herself up at 8, and she's ready to go to work, and she's always on time.
After a good nap on the charger, she's ready to go.
She's just like a little mascot around here anymore.
Rosie the robot that does it all when it comes to dining. In Billings, Diane Parker, MTN News.
Thanks, Diane. And all right, Billings parents, out of the way. This story is for the kids. Check out this, boys and girls. Check this out, boys and girls. You're looking at the new biggest, tallest play structure in the entire city. The playground equipment at Castle Rock Park in the Heights is now officially open for play. It's 33 feet high. Look at that. And oh yeah, it has a 90-foot-long zip line. All right, Mom and Dad, there are also some features potentially in the works for you as well. Officials say this is just phase 1 of the Castle Rock improvement plan.
Coming soon, and brand new parking lot, brand new bathrooms. As we get rolling, there'll be pickleball courts that come in. We have sand volleyball pits that will be going in. We have a pump track down the way. We have a community center.
The list of possibilities goes on and on like an amphitheater, but they're all dependent on funding. On Monday, City Council will decide if they want to bring a $142 million bond to voters, $12 million of which would go towards Castle Rock Park. And Metro Park is officially under new leadership. Yellowstone County Commissioners voted unanimously to hire Stony Field as the next general manager. Fields has been the Fairgrounds and Events Center Director in Montrose County, Colorado for the past 6 years. Commissioners say his background in rodeo, livestock, community events, and concerts make him a great fit. Fields starts his new gig here in Billings on August 7th. And if art is your hobby, we want to introduce you to the Billings Urban Sketchers. This group meets about once a week at a different downtown spot every single time. They come equipped with chairs, sketchbooks, and pencils ready to find and capture the beauty in aging Magic City buildings. The number of sketchers continues to grow with nearly 40 members now. It's a pleasant surprise for the group's founder, local artist John Kennedy.
I just thought I wanted to be outside in the summertime. I love buildings. I love old buildings. People walk around downtown and they look at some of these buildings and they say, old building, you know, or that's a crummy looking alley or something like that. And we go downtown and we see an alley full of telephone poles and garbage cans and dumpsters and we say, man, that's beautiful. I want to sketch that.
You can learn more about joining the group on the Urban Sketchers Billings Facebook page. And new this morning, we're taking you on the trail. Well, kind of. Sioux Charlie Lake near Nye is fantastic for children, relatively flat and easy to climb. But as Q2's Andrea Lutz finds out, one of her family's favorite trails to hike has changed due to last year's historic floods.
On the Trail is sponsored by St. Vincent Healthcare, now part of Intermountain Health.
From Billings, it just takes under 2 hours to get to the trailhead for Sioux Charlie Lake. The excitement brewing from the very beginning.
You know, it's one of the highlights of the Beartooth.
Sioux Charlie's the perfect path for new hikers with little feet, gaining just under 600 feet over the course of 3 miles.
And it's just a really beautiful spot with great, beautiful vistas in the background.
Remember to pack plenty of water, lather up on that sunscreen.
Are you excited to go up the mountain?
Yeah.
It's a great trail, very accessible for all kinds of members of the family, kids, very kid-friendly, beautiful sights.
But remnants of last year's floods still exist. In fact, it hits you right away. You'll find that the parking lot is inaccessible. Tumbled and turned into waves of asphalt, this dramatic scene even taking us by surprise.
The river actually jumped its banks at the trailhead and completely undermined the trailhead parking lot.
Avid hiker Kalman Tinka saw all of that high water firsthand last year, just days before the floods hit.
We even remarked at the time just how much water was flowing through the gorge at that time.
And although the views are still incredible, unfortunately you can't pass through the gorge part of the trail any longer. It's been washed away.
About a quarter mile up, can't get any further.
Talman says the Forest Service says luckily there's a fix.
And there's an alternate trail that goes up and over the gorge area. So you avoid the gorge area. The trail is located near the old pit toilet that was there.
Some of us making sure to take careful steps on the rock, while others enjoy the view from Dad's back.
Kids, very kid-friendly, beautiful sights.
So we made our way back and found a spot next to the river to just take in all of the view.
You know, just get out there, have fun, and enjoy the mountains.
Near Nye, Andrea Lutz and family for MTN News.
Great story, Andrea. Cute babies.